Daily trading recap for Tuesday, the 31st of May, 2022, last trading day for the month of May here. No trading on Monday, yesterday for the Memorial Day holiday. That was, to Christ be the glory today. Very, very short, quick recap. I'm going to refresh this here quick. Okay, there we go. Dollar volume quick for the day. First, before anything else, NASDAQ $308 billion volume as of 27 minutes after the close. NYSE $464 billion volume. OTC markets $2.2 billion volume trading on the day. Looks like a 0.56% day in the red on SPY. A little bit of a rest consolidation day after the 2-3 very hard green days that we had yesterday on the SPY itself. So we'll see where we start trending over the next few days, or if we start to pull back more back to that lower 390 area, or if it's finds some amount of consolidation 410 or the more psychological whole dollar level, whole $100 level area of that 400. If it somehow miraculously starts making a leg up, there's an incredible amount of talk of market crashes and just all the headlines and YouTube title videos and thumbnails and everything that I'm seeing. Everybody and their grandma is calling for this market crash. It is coming. Every single sign logically points to a hard crash and just everything going deeper into the red and harder down. And it just puts me in that speculator and just devil's advocate mindset of I'm kind of almost buying more of the stock market now at this point, thinking this is I don't want to say a bounce point, or I think it's just going to start doing an immediate COVID 2020 bounce like it did back then, just a sharp V. I don't think that's going to happen necessarily here, but just for how ludicrous the amount of people are saying that and the overall fear and just everybody thinking the exact same thing just puts me a bit on edge in the speculation of what could actually happen, because if everybody's thinking the same thing, there's obviously somebody that's got to be thinking differently. And I want to be with and alongside the people that are thinking in the correct majority. Of course, what is correct in this? And that's what a stupid statement that is in itself. But it's just playing devil's advocate, I feel, is always better in the market. And keeping myself small and just always speculative against the crowd, I think is the best way to put it. Of against the group think and just kind of whether it's panicking, jumping off the boat, or climbing aboard and just throwing everything that we have, all of our life savings, into this ultimate skyrocketing thing. That's just, if everybody's thinking the same thing, I don't want to be a part of it. I always want to proceed caution when everybody is thinking the same thing and all the signs are pointing to the exact same thing, whatever those signs are. Just proceeding with caution and everything. That's just what I'm trying to get across there with that. Very short video today. All I did was a 930 strategy. Put a smaller, only did 2 MES contracts in total, put one smaller at a profit target around 2-ish points for what my backtested data was saying, and another one at like 3-ish points, 3.25 ticks there, 3.25 points for that. So it worked out within that first minute candle, then started dumping off hard within that first 4 or 5 minutes of market open there. A little hard sell up, and then sure enough kind of rebounced a little bit, sold off a little bit, not really going back above that open price, but sure enough found the upside of the opening in market hours there, but still ending the day 0.56% in the red from that previous trading day's close, which was last week Friday. It's still being Tuesday today, so still getting after it. I did not do the 345 strategy because I was elsewhere and didn't have that automated strategy running, but sure enough, it would have worked out well today for both the upside and downside profit target strategy on that one. And it's so tough too, because it is just that minuscule size that I have to be taking with what my account is currently sitting at now in that futures account for the hard losses that I had to sustain. So then it's just like, okay, what am I really doing these trades for? Am I going to keep doing these trades for the $20, $50 max that I can be taking out of these trades? With still, like, that's not nothing, but again, is that what I'm going to be trying to do to claw myself out of this crevice that I've found myself in right now? Is that the strategy that I want to go for? Or of course, am I going to have to do it externally from the markets to rebuild that account size back up and approach it in a much more subdued account size position, or just overall trade position size frame of mind, of how I got into the hard $7,000 down day of, for what strategy? That one actually, I go into that one again, of that one worked out to my benefit, but I just couldn't sustain those unrealized losses. So not factoring that into my overall account size at the time of taking that size of a trade on that position was kind of frivolous of me. And it was shown to me, my butt was handed to me in my exposure to that way. So being able to learn from that and then go to the next one with a better sense of that, I feel is the best approach, rather than still with this smaller size trying to do the exact same things. And it's like, okay, it's still building my account, everything is still like working in a sense, but is it kind of still worth my time at this sense to just keep pursuing that? Or would it be better to just kind of completely step away 100%, take a little sabbatical, take just some even more designated intentional time away from screens and focus on other things and just come back to it with a far greater perspective and refreshment for both the equities and the OTCs and the future side of it as well. Those are factors I'm weighing, but definitely going to be a lot more learning and just a lot more intention placed on everything that I'm doing. I always come back to that intention versus the sometimes whimsicality that I could get myself into because the hit rate of that futures automated algorithmic strategy was just working great. And it's like I could go days or a full week with everything working beautifully. I think I even had one of those that just that entire week, everything worked. And it was just like, oh, this is just how it's supposed to be. This is how everything goes. And I can get that breeds some amount of laziness. Not like it makes me totally lazy. And I was still aware of it even at that time. But just, of course, of not experiencing any losses in that or just not having to force myself awake so early at times on this West Coast time frame, or putting in more hard research because everything was just kind of working well. Breeding that little tiny amount of laziness is something that I certainly don't want to continue to harbor or produce in myself, but just even through the wins, still being able to maintain that sense of discipline and learning aspect to these markets of applying myself more and harder each and every single day. And the same, I've used this quote a few times in past data training recaps, but I don't want the only time I put in more or harder work, I don't want those only times to be after hard losing days. I want them to be a part of winning days as well. On every single day, I want to be producing the same amount of work. I don't want my P&L to determine my life, my happiness, my emotions, or better yet, even my dedication or work ethic that's put into studying and research and backtesting and chart collection and just all of those factors that way. So keeping that in the same mind too, that it shouldn't, even through the losses, even through the wins, that shouldn't change who I am. But then, of course, dealing with that fact of I'm not a profitable trader. I'm still in this big hole now too for the unfortunate circumstances that it was. It's spilled milk. I can't complain or cry about it anymore. But just that unfortunate situation of I'm still a non-profitable trader. I still need a part-time job to kind of supplement my learning and growth in this. Do I need to be stepping up more? Do I need to be taking away from other things and other facets and giving up other certain things to be able to have more time for trading and blah, 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 all these different factors that way. So it's dealing in that reality of, okay, I feel as though I'm on the right track and, on this journey and on this path. And there's obviously going to be crevices and dips in the road and little peaks and little valleys until I get to eventually where I want to go and just start chugging along that road in that financial freedom and safety. But tough to hold on to that, of course, when it's not evident right now, to know that this path that I'm on right now is leading to that, when it's just like, okay, well, that's what I'm doing right now obviously isn't getting me those types of returns or that type of P&L or just profitability in general, right? So to trust in that, to trust more in the journey or the grind myself, or to just continue to have that evolution and reevaluation of myself and my work ethic and tactics that I'm employing in my studying and research to say, okay, is this actually getting me to where I want to go? But I think that's part of the journey in itself too, and that's a part of the path. It's not like I'm on, I only do this at this specific time, and if it's not these patterns, blah, 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 whatever, I only do this. No, I think it's totally, that is the path and journey that I'm on and set myself forward with, is that adaptation aspect of it. So trusting in that and being willing to completely 180 on certain things, to be ego-less, to approach the markets as if they owe me nothing and I don't owe it anything, and being so incredibly grateful for every loss and every gain and every learning opportunity that I can. I'm freaking 23 years old. I've got my entire life ahead of me still, and through all the losses, these trades, this money doesn't define who I am. It's only Christ above who does that. So I'm extremely thankful for this opportunity. I'm thankful for turning this little short video into, of course, the longer one as I blabber on and just continue to talk to my therapist in this camera. But I'm extremely thankful for you guys watching, and we will catch you guys on the next one.